So the Lava Crossover, Jobless Reincarnation, is coming to Grand Summoners actually this Thursday, Friday, something like that. And with this crossover, of course, you can be expecting a lot of stuff with it. Units, events, login bonuses, packs that you can buy if you're into that type of stuff. And in this video, I want to tell you exactly what you could be expecting in terms of the units. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do the equipment in this video. If the equipment isn't in this video, then it'll be a separate video as well. But pretty sure I'll be able to fit everything in this one video. Depends on how long it is. Don't want it to be too long. So yeah, if you're brand new here and you're coming in because of the Jobless Reincarnation crossover, hey, consider subscribing. I upload pretty much GS content or gacha gaming content every single day, apart from Sundays. Take that day off. This crossover is going to be featuring, of course, the characters from Jobless Reincarnation, and there's going to be 4 of them in total, if I remember correctly. You're going to be having Rudeus, Roxy, Eris, and of course, Sylph. Each one of these characters bring a very unique kit to the table, and we'll be talking about them right now. These will be the first 2 units that release from the crossover, which is Rudeus and Roxy. Rudeus is an earth human type with some pretty solid slots at 5-star magic, 5-star support, and 4-star magic. Has a pretty broken passive that allows him to gain art gauge just by being over 90% HP. Also has some pretty other good stuff there as well. And he does a lot of damage. Also, he really wants to be on an earth team if possible, because the more earth allies he has, the more he increases everybody's arts damage. So if you have 4 earth allies on the team, you're going to be getting a total of 120% arts damage up. And that's pretty good, because as you can see from that multiplier that boy Rudeus got, that thing gonna hit hard. Next is Roxy, which is the second unit that will be coming out this Thursday or Friday. I really need to look up the date for this. Roxy is a water demon. Her slots are 5-star magic, 5-star magic, and 4-star heal. Her passives, she has a pretty solid one as well. Whenever she's unafflicted by any type of status effects, she increases her arts damage by 50%. She's able to increase her own art gauge by 30 with her skill. With the art, you actually have a really unique mechanic where you're able to increase your allies' next true art damage by 50%. And you also increase all allies' damage resistance by 20%. That's kind of a weird buff to have, offensive art. Yeah, it's weird. But then with her true art, she's able to reduce the enemy's water and magic resist by 40% on top of her massive 50,000% water damage magic. I don't know exactly how fast her true art is, but just judging off that alone, she has a pretty strong multiplier and a pretty solid debuff, so she could be a pretty formidable water nuker. As for the other 2 units coming out, which is Awoken Eris and of course Sylph, they'll be coming at a later date, probably about 2.5 weeks after the crossover starts running. They'll be on a different banner than Rudeus and Roxy. So Eris is a fire human. These are her slots. Her unique passive is that when she's above 90% HP, she increases skill, CT recovery, and crit damage by 30%. Her skill increases her own art gauge by 30. Her art, it allows her to stack her own damage by 100%. Yeah, you heard me right. And then after that, you add 10 seconds to the duration of the effect up to a maximum of 60 seconds upon you activating your art every time after you activate it the first time. So you can get this thing up probably pretty high. Hopefully her animation is pretty fast, so you can stack this very quickly. So once you are ready to pop off with all of her damage stacking, you can use her true art, which is 66,000% fire damage physical. And while she's using her true art, she increases her crit rate by 100%. Seems pretty solid on paper. I kind of want to use her, see what she can do. And then for the other unit, which I think is a lot of people's like sought after unit for this crossover, is going to be Sylph. And Sylph, the reason why I say she's very sought after, because she's like the support of this crossover, and supports, of course, are amazing in all parts of the game. So her slots are as follows: 5-star heal, 5-star support, and a 4-star magic. Her special passive is that you increase human, beast, and spirit allies attack by 30%. This is non-stackable. With her skill, she's able to increase her own healing output by 10%. It's whatever. Her art is able to heal all allies HP by 30%, and you increase allies art gauge by 25%, and then for 15 seconds you increase all ally status resistance by 100%. And her true art is a 12,000% modifier. You heal all allies poison, and then for 20 seconds you increase all allies damage resist by 20% and magic resist by 20%. Sylph is very interesting. Like I said, I know a lot of people want to know if, like, you know, she's broken or she's like a must-have support. I think if you're lacking in support units and you want a support unit, then absolutely Sylph could be a pretty solid pickup for you. The only thing that I don't like is she's a little bit too defensive for my taste. I like a little bit more of the offensive supports myself. She's definitely not bad. Pretty good support if you need that. And that's actually it for the characters that will be coming out for this crossover. But we're only going to be getting 4 characters, and unfortunately at this current time, I don't think nothing has been said of a guaranteed crossover ticket or anything like that, so I don't know if we'll be able to get that. We probably won't, because they haven't done one for like the last 2 crossovers, so I doubt they're going to change their ways for this one. And that actually didn't take as long as I thought it would. So now we're actually going to be talking about the equipment. We're going to talk about the gacha equips first, because of course I know a lot of people are very excited for these gacha equips, and we're going to be talking about the event equips, and then finally the crest and stuff that you can obtain from the event as well. So this collabs event banner will feature Rudeus' staff, which is a 5-star support. Its skills for 10 seconds to increase all allies art gauge by 3, and then you also increase all allies fire, water, and earth units attack by 50%. Let me just say this right now. everybody listen up. Make sure you get this. That's all I'm gonna say. If you really care about mid-maxing, art gauge, mid-maxing, damage, and all that, and you really want stuff that buffs up your damage a lot, make sure you get this 5-star support. It is invaluable. It is an insanely good 5-star support. And to be honest, I'm pretty sure it's going to be recommended for people who are just starting the game and are re-rolling. You're probably going to want to try to pick this up because this Rodea staff is one of the best support items in the entire game. Really good. It's a gacha equip though, so of course you have to summon it. But I will say, if you get any extra crystals, throw them at that banner and hope to God that you get lucky. For the 5-star here, we actually have Sylph's Clothes. This is actually an item that will revive the target if it dies within 120 seconds, and then you heal all his HP by 100 per second for 40 seconds. This item's gonna be pretty solid, I think, on some characters, but if you want to cheese with like Lisa in some content, they're probably still gonna be using Blessed Necklace because I don't think Lisa has a 5-star heal slot. For 5-star physical, we actually have Eris's Clothes. Eris's Clothes is a 7,700% fire damage physical. For 10 seconds, you decrease the enemy's damage resist by 20% and fire resist by 30%. It's a pretty solid 5-star physical item, pretty good for nuking, and may be worthy of picking up if you need something like this. But I feel like if you already have other damage buffing items and other nuking items, you probably can skip this. And those are actually the only 3 gacha equips that we're going to be getting with this collab, unless they do something different, but those should be the only ones that are on the collab banner. Next, we're going to move on to the farmable stuff that you can get by playing the event, and the first one that's going to be farmable by playing the part 1 of the event will be Roxy's Hat. Roxy's Hat is a 5-star magic. Its skill is 4,000% water damage magic. For 8 seconds, you increase your own magic damage by 40%, and on first use of this equip, you increase your own art gauge by 50, cooldown 40 seconds. Pretty solid item right out the gate, I'm not going to lie to you. I do wish that the art gauge would stay even after the first use, but I will say that if you want a better Archton item, always make sure to go farm Alma's Hat. It's just a lot better than what this one can do. I would recommend still picking this up though. This isn't bad. Oh, and something that I did forget to mention actually is that this is actually enhancement equip, where you can actually enhance it and get different passives on it. If you play the event and you start crafting it, you're actually able to roll different passives. These are the passives you can get on it right here, which is increased damage to fire enemies by 5%, increased damage to fire enemies by 10%, when near death you increase damage resist by 5%, increase unit skill CT recovery by 5%, increase on heal and taken by 5%, excluding lifesteal. When HP is above 90%, you increase your own attack by 15%. But if you want to do that, hey, go for it. And as for part 2, that equip will actually be Eris's Sword, which is a 5-star physical. Its passive is able to increase your attack by 5%, and its skill is 5,000% fire damage physical. For 10 seconds, you increase your own physical damage by 40%. If user is fire, you increase your own skill CT recovery by 40% as well. This has some use on some characters. I think this will definitely be useful in stuff like Aces. That item, I don't think is bad at all. If you're thinking about doing Aces and you need some skill CT down, I actually recommend going for this equip because this is a really solid 5-star physical if you ever need it. And those are the equips out of the way, and then finally we're coming to the end of everything coming with this crossover, at least from the Japanese side. That is going to be the crest that we're going to be getting from the event. Let me just say, if you don't know what crests are, crest is pretty much additional bonuses that you can put on your character if you get them to drop. Usually you have to do stuff like crest palaces, but in certain cases, like this crossover event, they allow you to obtain crest from the event stages. The crests that you can obtain from the event stages are unique to this crossover, and you actually can't get them from any other part of the game. In the part 1 of the collab, these are the crests that you can get. You have an increased accuracy by 9% when near death. You increase accuracy by 4%. You also have increased HP by 300 and skill CT recovery by 7. Increased magic damage by 6%, and you heal HP by 12 per second. Increased attack by 200 and increased magic resistance by 5%. And you have one that increases your attack and defense by 300. They're all okay. Nothing's like really stands out a lot. Part 2 of this event's crest will actually be increased crit damage by 6% and increased skill CT recovery by 5%. Increase your attack by 200 and you increase art gauge by 10 when quest starts. Increase defense by 100, increase player experience gain by 10%, increase max HP by 200, physical damage by 5%, and increase attack by 500, and when near death, you increase evasion by 10%. Out of all of these, I think the increased 500 attack is pretty okay, and then also the 200 attack and then the 10 art gauge isn't bad either. Pretty solid stuff if you're brand new to the game and you kind of need some help boosting up your units a little bit more till you can start doing the harder stuff. And that is actually everything that is coming in the collab that is not promotional in terms of summon campaigns, packs, all the other stuff. We don't completely know yet when we're going to be getting it. But if you're a paying player and you would like to know if we're going to be having a Bullseye Step Up Summon for this crossover, the case may be, I did actually say in my last video that we might have one. And it looks like in JP, they actually had a Bullseye Step Up Summon for both of these banners. So if you are a paying player, you can look out for those whenever they come out. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. That is everything in the Jobless Reincarnation crossover. Tell me down below what you're looking forward to the most. If you're going to be summoning on this, you're going to be waiting. Tell me all that down below. If you're brand new here, like I said, please consider subscribing, sticking around to the channel. We'll be posting Grand Summoners content and Gacha Gaming content pretty much every single day of the week. But that's going to be it for this one, man. Thank you all again for coming out. Hope you guys all have a nice day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more. And last but not least, you guys already know, don't forget to drink water.